Betty Grable deserved a medal, and it's a shame that the United States didn't give her one. So, you are wondering why? Betty Grable played an essential part in World War II. She helped preserve the morale of the service members, who were the biggest fans of her pinup photos. Seeing her toned, expensive million-dollar legs sent these men into a wild frenzy. However, those legs cost the actress, and we weren't talking about money. The legs also carried a dark weight of Betty's sadness. Rather than be seen as a person, people saw the actress as nothing more than a pair of legs, and Betty could do nothing about it. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you're new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Matentis channel. Many people may not know, but Betty contributed to the war effort. Sure, she wasn't Josephine Baker, who was a spy during the Second World War and helped gain sensitive information. Grable wasn't also like Hayden, another super spy who helped ship equipment and supplies while shooting at the enemies. However, in her way, she contributed to the war in two ways. First, the actress helped motivate the newest recruits at the Hollywood Canteen, which Hollywood opened at the beginning of World War II. The actress, who believed that she was more than just a dancer, would dance with as many soldiers as she could, putting them in a better mood before they traveled. Her second contribution was the sexy kind. Betty Grable was one of Rita Hayworth's successors when it came to pinup photos. And during the Second World War, you could say she surpassed Rita when it came to pinup. Betty was very famous among the soldiers in the Second World War. Around 5 million of the soldiers who were active in the war had Betty's pinup pictures. Some soldiers even put their pictures on their planes and in their jackets. Even one soldier held the sexy actress's picture right at the point of his death. This is how big the actress' influence was on the soldiers. It is said that her pinup photos influenced Hugh Hefner, a World War II veteran who was one of the soldiers that loved her pinup photos, to create Playboy magazine. The soldiers appreciated her so much that they would write to her, and she would reply. These exchanges with the Army men made the actress happy, as she felt that she was doing something good in a world that had become miserable due to the war. Betty even felt pride that the soldiers were out there risking their lives to protect found comfort in her pictures. The exciting part is that the soldiers and most people loved Betty's pinup photos not because she had mighty bosoms like Marilyn, but because of her legs. The sexy actress had perfectly toned legs with the sexiest proportions. When the actress wore stockings, her effect on her fans was entirely on another level. Her legs were her major selling point, and she knew it. I became a star for 2 reasons, and I'm standing on them, the actress once said in an interview. So it was fitting that the actress's legs got the nickname Million Dollar Legs, which the actress got from a sappy comedy of the same name. She acted alongside one of her husbands, Jack Coogan, in the film. The film gave the actress the sexy image that she would live with throughout her life. Eventually, the studio she worked for insured her legs for $1 million. It was one of the most incredible publicity stunts ever, and it would haunt the actress. People talk about my legs as if I were a centipede, she complained later in her career. At that point, the actress had gotten tired of how Hollywood sexualized her. However, left with no other choice, she sexualized herself worse than Hollywood did. Despite being the highest-paid actress for a long time and ruling the box office for more than a decade, along with earning over $3 million a year, the actress became broke. The painful part about being broke wasn't entirely due to her actions, but to the financial recklessness of her husband, Harry James, a chronic gambler. Betty had the worst choice in men and suffered more at the hands of Harry than anyone. But more on that later. Harry pushed the actress to the point of financial ruin, and the actress had to return to pinup and rely on her sexy legs for money. At this point, the actress couldn't rely on Hollywood, as the industry had turned its back on her. So, she worked for Playtex Shorties, using her iconic pinup pose. That pose that sent everyone crazy was something she created to hide her pregnancy while she worked as a pinup model. So rather than face the camera with her big belly, the actress turned her back while turning and facing the camera. It was a teasing pose. Betty was an excellent actress, a great beauty to behold, and she had a warm personality hiding underneath her insecurity and success. And she had a lot of insecurities. Did you know that the actress deliberately avoided film roles because she didn't want to challenge herself? Come find out more. Elizabeth Ruth Grable was born on December 18, 1916, in St. Louis, Missouri, U.S., to a manipulative mother. All that concerned Lillian was that her daughter should become a star, and so she forced her daughter to take dance lessons and register for different child beauty competitions. All Lillian cared for was for her daughter to get fame, and it must have delighted her when her daughter won most of the competitions. Sometimes Betty's mother would use her daughter to entertain her friends, and it got to the point where little Betty began to fear crowds. The actress stopped sleeping well because she performed so much and was stressed out, but her stress was just beginning. Sure that Missouri wouldn't make her daughter a star, Lillian took her daughter and moved to Hollywood. The actress's mother enrolled her in the Hollywood Professional School, and confident her daughter would get parts, Lillian began to show her off to the studios. Eventually, Fox was ready to take the star actress in their books, but there was a problem. Betty was 13 and needed to be 15 before she could legally be employed. Guess what Lillian did? She lied and told the studio that her daughter was indeed 15. Her gambit worked out, but not for long. You see, Lillian wasn't as smart as she thought. After getting uncredited roles with Fox, they found out Betty wasn't 15 and immediately fired her. The actress motioned through different Hollywood studios honing her craft, but apart from her standout beauty, Betty wasn't star material yet. After going nowhere with her career, luck finally shone on the actress. The actress was close to the success she so desperately craved. However, somehow, it added to her growing problems. After working for RKO, Paramount Pictures signed Betty, and the studio loaned her to Fox for the film Pigskin Parade, a comedy. Paramount was confident that the film would make Grable a major player and that the audience would love her, but the opposite happened. Rather than fall in love with Betty, people fell in love with her co-star, Judy Garland. Disappointed, Betty returned to Paramount, where things slightly improved, but the actress got severely typecast as a college student in almost all of the B films she starred in. But not all of them were bad. One of the films, $1 Million Legs, gave her the nickname that she would use throughout her life. But $1 Million Legs also came with bad news. After the film, the actress and her husband, actor Jack Coogan, who she acted alongside, got divorced. While the two loved each other, they wouldn't be each other's happily ever after. As a former child actor, Coogan's parents controlled his finances, and he tried to recover his earnings. The lawsuit stress was so profound that it affected his marriage with his beau. She was tired and ready to quit Hollywood with everything that had happened to her. She switched to Broadway, and finally she met her luck. This time it was hers and only hers. While performing on Broadway, the actress made a fan that would change her life. That fan was none other than Fox's boss, Darryl F. Zanuck. Darryl was sure that he could make a star out of Betty, and he did that by signing her to a long-term contract and casting her in his upcoming film, Down Argentine. The film was a great hit that put Grable on the map. Grable's fame came at the cost of Alice Faye's. Alice was Fox's go-to girl for musicals, but the actress had health issues at this time. Darryl didn't think twice when he cast Betty for the role, and his instincts were correct. Fans loved Betty's performance, and critics announced Betty to be Faye's successor. Now armed with two bankable stars, Fox cast the two of them in Tin Pan Alley, which was another robust success. But in that film, success hid a dark secret. Allegedly, Betty and Faye couldn't stand each other. Rumors flew around that those two were constantly at each other's throats. The pair debunked this, but it was official. The baton had been passed. Fox now had a new sweetheart, but would she be the sweetheart for long? Fox was ready to make the most of their star and cast her in serious roles. Sometimes she accepted, at other times she declined. Betty wasn't the most confident regarding her acting skills and always felt like she was a fraud. The actress was more confident in her ability in musicals than in any other challenging part, which is amusing because musicals are challenging. While Betty was successful, her preference for non-challenging roles cost her an Oscar. She rejected a leading role in The Razor's Edge. and Ann Baxter, the actress who got the role, won an Oscar for her performance. The actress's career was great, but her love life wasn't. She had 2 earlier disappointments in her relationships. The first was with her first boyfriend, George Raft, and the other was with Jackie Coogan, her first husband. Her third marriage would also be a disappointment, but it lasted 22 years. Betty married Harry James, and the couple had 2 children together. Their relationship began in the most scandalous manner. So, the couple met while on the set of Springtime in the Rockies, which was another of Betty's hit movies. But one fine detail that was ignored when they began the relationship: Harry James was married. Without a care in the world, the couple continued their steamy affair. The steamy romps almost became a scandal when George Raft, her ex, sent someone to spy on them. One night when Betty and James were going at it, the person that Raft had sent fell from the tree he was spying from, altering the couple. Thankfully, the spy didn't get any compromising pictures that would have caused serious problems. In the end, those steamy romps led to something beautiful. Betty got pregnant. But it wasn't all good news. When the studio heard, they wanted Betty to make it formal with her beau. They didn't want an unmarried actress on their books. Harry had divorced his wife at the time, so he got into another marriage promptly. He did to Betty what he did to his first wife. He cheated on her ruthlessly. And that wasn't all he did. But we'll get to that later. And with the drama the sexy actress had in her life, she accidentally added to it. Despite being the highest-paid actress and making millions, Grable didn't feel like the studio appreciated her value. So she asked for a raise. Daryl and the other top Fox execs didn't take her seriously. And to drive home her point, Grable did the unthinkable. The actress found her contract and tore it up right in front of Daryl. And like that, she doomed her career. The sensational star would learn that Fox's top dog could be a brutal and vindictive man. The Fox head swiftly fired Grable from her role in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Instead, he decided to give the part to newcomer Marilyn Monroe. The film was a hit, and Monroe became an instant fan favorite. And Grable? Fox was done with her. But she still thought she could make something out of the already messy situation. Grable apologized to the Fox boss, but his heart was set. Fox would have nothing to do with the actress again. But the Fox boss had a sinister way of driving home his point. He cast both Marilyn and Betty in the same film, How to Marry a Millionaire. Betty knew what it meant, and rather than throw a tantrum or cause trouble, she accepted that she had become surplus to requirements and began to make friends with Marilyn. Honey, I've had it. Go get yours. It's your turn now. Betty treated Marilyn with respect and looked out for her. When there was a fashion mishap during one of Marilyn's photo shoots, it was Betty that discovered it and helped Marilyn fix it. When the curtains drew on the actress's stay at Fox, Marilyn insisted that she wouldn't take a picture with Betty's name to show she had replaced her. Life away from the screen wasn't much easier for the actress. She wasn't going to live a happy life with her husband. Harry hadn't repented from his womanizing ways, and when Grable moved with him to build a new life in Las Vegas, Nevada, Harry went from bad to worse. Betty wanted to revive her career in Las Vegas. She made her own films which she starred in, and sometimes she gave her husband work. However, whatever they made from those films, Harry, assisted by his wife, gambled away $24 million. Eventually, the actress had had enough of Harry's cheating, gambling, and drinking. She divorced him, citing extreme cruelty as the reason for the divorce. The actress soon found love with a younger dancer, Bob Remick, and they remained together through the actress's relatively short life. The actress had a bad smoking habit during her youthful days, and her smoking had devastating consequences for her. The actress had developed lung cancer, and the disease spread fast, leaving no chance for the sexy actress to recover. The actress died at the age of 56. Her 2 ex-husbands, Jack Coogan and Harry James, attended her funeral to pay their last respects. Even George Raft, despite having a dark history, came to participate in the actress's funeral. Her lifelong friend, Faye, also came to say goodbye. Their presence show how loved Betty was when she was alive. Sadly, the actress died when her fame was at an all-time low. But if you thought that was a wild ride, just wait until you hear about the scandalous love affair between Paulette Goddard and Charlie Chaplin. You'll have to click on our next video to find out.